Class is in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and TradeFly bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the Otter Gang. We are taking over the Piper Academy. Bitcoin, V-shaped recovery. Pretty wild, right? Class is in session. What is going on today? I am here taking over for my man Piper. You know what? The man needed a break. No, the man needed a favor, and we are here today helping out the Piper Academy, hosting your live show. Thank you guys so much for having me on. It's truly an honor and a privilege, but we're going to jump right into the economic calendar today and get you guys set up for success as we always do here. But first, let's go over to my friends who are helping me out with the show, because I'm not here alone. What's going on, guys?
What's going on, dude? Great having you on the show. My twinsy repping it. What's up, bro? How you doing?
How's it going, TradeFly? I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Thank you so much for helping me out. OC Guy, how are we doing, man?
Oh my God, we're being taken over by otters. I always thought it was going to be audience, but there are otters. Otters everywhere.
Man.
From outer
So big
space.
V-shaped recovery, man. This is pretty wild. Bitcoin, coming up to the all-time high yesterday, then crashing. Like it was like a 10K crash. Like, how are you guys feeling after seeing something like that? What do you think, TradeFly?
I'm feeling all right, man. I mean, I kind of expected a pullback. I was calling for that. I was looking for more of like a 2-3% pullback. That was pretty aggressive. But like you said, V-shaped, it's pulling back up. I feel really good because my buddy texted me, no lies, at like 68 something, 68.5. He was like, I'm gonna get in. And I was like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. And then, I texted him later. I was like, I showed him the bloodbath. I was like, now you can buy,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's great. I actually had a friend message me. He's like, have you seen Shiba Inu? My God, bro, my bags are pumping. I'm like, and he bought at the top of last cycle. It's pretty funny. What about you, OC? How are you feeling lately? You said you're a little bit bearish on alts. Let me know.
Well, I was expecting a pullback. In fact, I've been calling also a pullback, a big pullback for the last 3 weeks already. So almost a month, or maybe 2 weeks, half of a month. And in fact,
We have frozen with OC. That's okay. So let's jump over to the trading economics. I mean, that's what happens when you think it's going to pull back. Sometimes, the crypto gods just strike. Lightning has stricken. So let's go over to my chart here and look at the economic calendar. We can see here today's going to be a interesting day. So sometimes we always got to know what's coming up, right? So 10 a.m. we got Fed Chair Powell's testimony, okay? And this is going to be very interesting because they're talking about interest, and this is going to it's crazy how powerful this man can be with a couple of words and what it will affect on monetary policy. So we are aware of this, and we'll have to wait for the actual speech to be given or the testimony. And then we have jolts here, which we have seen an increase. Okay, there's been a surge, and we are looking for more of a surge coming our way. So the number of jobs surged from 100,000 from the previous month to 9.026 million in December. So we are looking to climb here in jobs. I don't know about you guys, but do you guys think we're getting more jobs, or are we going to drop? That's going to be an interesting thing. But these things do move the market, so we do need to be prepared for that. Now, going over to the bubbles, we're looking at the daily here, and you can see some red in the market from that big drop that we had yesterday. However, when you go over to the hourly, there's some nice hopium back in to the market. We can see that Beam's moving up, AGIX, Floki, that I know you guys have been talking about over here on the Piper Academy. So we can see that we have had a nice recovery in the markets today. And we'll jump into the charts later on in the show, but let's jump over to the TriCam, where we can look at the Bitcoin heat map.
Right
this will
on.
be
Actually,
TradeFly.
go ahead. You can pull up my screen, and there it is. All right, so we talked about it yesterday, and one of the things that I had mentioned, well, pretty much I mention it every time I pull this up. I'm like, hey, price likes to chase liquidity, and we did talk about this hot zone at about 60K. So sure enough, what did it do? It came up, it cleared out some liquidity here, and then boom, it came all the way back down, cleared out some liquidity down here, and now what? It's all gone, right? So we got free movement in this area right now, and the price can move, but it's going to be in this zone, right? What I say, it comes down, it wicks down, clears out liquidity, comes back in the zone, and then you'll find a range a lot of times. So I just wanted to pull that up to show you guys why this map is important, and I really think it's something you should put into your scan kind of on a daily basis when you guys are looking, especially if you're trading intraday. I would definitely take a look at this map. So just wanted to point that out, and then we can get over to the liquidations and see how it all kind of ties in together.
Yeah, so if we jump over to my chart, I have the liquidations up here, and we can see, guys, this is crazy. $1.1 billion. I need the pinky. $1 billion. Okay, this was insane, guys. We definitely had a massive liquidation, just grabbing those leverage traders. And we always stress on my channel and on this channel to lower your margin, lower your leverage, give your trade more room to breathe in an environment such as this. You're getting easy 1%, 2% moves, like $1,000, $2,000. We dropped 10K yesterday on the Bitcoin chart. So guys, make sure you guys are using a stop loss, but protecting yourselves to the downside. You can see we got 850 million wrecked in the last 24 hours. This is crazy, but let's jump over to the TriCam and talk about this. So OC, what do you think about stop losses and liquidations? Like, so many people can get wrecked even in a typical easy to trade bull run bull market.
So what I believe is that the stop loss is always a mandatory thing, right? I mean, there are certain things that you can kind of like overlook, but a stop loss, it is always needs to be there. By the way, guys, for the new alumni that is following us, let me talk a little bit more about this. Like, you have so many tools. You have trailing entries, right? You have trailing stop outs. You also have you can always lower leverage. And something important that Piper always said is do not underestimate low leverage. At the end of it all, Alex, TradeFly, let me ask you a question. When you have a mortgage on your house, how many excess do you get on your house?
Go ahead, TradeFly, and answer that.
That's a tricky question, right? I mean, how many times you get your house worth, right?
I mean, I guess you have that opportunity to refinance when the rate changes, and you can sell that thing. So there's two ways the semi-exit, we'll say. But I get what you're saying. And the stop losses, it depends on how you play the game, right? So for me, a guy that likes to use support and resistance levels tied in with my stop losses, sometimes you'll get stopped out, especially when you get those major wicks down. But also what you'll see is when you have these massive wicks down, if you have alerts tied into that as well. So if you set your stop loss at one of your support levels, and then you have your next support level that you tie an alert to, you then might have an opportunity to get or accumulate more of what you initially had, even though you got stopped out, because you can buy down at the next support level. I've done that before, and I've increased bags. I think I had MATIC at one point. I had just like 1,000 of them or something, but then I was able to increase it to like 1,200 to 1,300 or somewhere around there, just based on the price continuing to fall down. So there are pros and cons with stop losses, especially if you get quick wicks and it comes right back up. V-shaped recoveries, like if somebody had a stop loss, let's say yesterday at 58,000, and it wicked just under it, and then it just shot back up. Sometimes there are those times where it can kind of backfire, but you can get back in, man. I mean, that's the game you play when you're day trading or intraday trading. So won't win them all, but I'm a big believer in stop losses.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. I think it's so important. When you have a plan, you have to have an invalidation point, right? It's always like, where am I wrong? And it's okay to be wrong. We're putting probabilities in our favor as traders, right? So if we have a 60%, 70% win rate, we have to be able to accept those minor losses so that when we have that higher R value of a ratio, that 3-to-1, when we make those 3-to-1s, it compensates for those losses, right? We're not going to be perfect. What we're doing as traders is we're putting probabilities in our favor. So that's so important. Now, I just wanted to go and shout out to the chat. I see the chat here. Crypto Trades, Gia, Eric Wallen, Alexandra G, Army Piper here, keeping an eye on us. Justin Eubanks, Christian Mayer, Mr. J himself, Lunar Beaches Crypto, Harp, French Toaster, the Brave Little Toaster, Blackie Chan. What a name. What's going on, guys? Hope you're all having a wonderful morning, guys. Thank you so much for being here and supporting the channel. If you guys don't mind, if you smash up those like buttons for us and get this out to some more people for the alumni. And let's jump into the news, I believe.
All right, let me go ahead and pull this up. Sorry about that. I was a little slow getting over there because I was looking at the chat. All right, so here's some news here. MicroStrategy is not done. They are set to raise $600 million via convertible notes to buy more Bitcoin. A la bullish. All right, so this dude is not done, and so you can see that he believes. All right, and his company believes. And if you're invested in MicroStrategy and Bitcoin continues to go up, Piper, then it's probably going to be good for you. So, I mean, I just saw they brought Michael Saylor out on stage. I don't know what conference it was for, but man, that dude got like a standing ovation. So, he's been tried and true the whole bear market. Props off to this dude. Respect. They are investing more. So that's good news for you guys if you are looking to get in Bitcoin still, or you're layering in, or you're DCAing the institutions, because I'm going to go ahead and lump him in at this point. Big money, smart money, they're still buying. All right. So over to Bitcoin and open interest. All right. So right now we've pretty much hit an all-time high in open interest. What does that mean? Well, there's going to be some retail and you're probably going to see some volatility. And that's kind of what you saw yesterday, and not unexpected, right? You get up to an all-time high, people are going to take profits, and that's exactly what happened. And we do have a story that will tie that into, but it's Bitcoin is back, man. So I remember like the bull run. It's probably about a couple years ago. We had these big swings. We had these $10,000 candles, and we've talked about on the show that you'll see in one day. It's crazy. And that's when I fell in love with investing in crypto personally, because I love the volatility, because I like to day trade. That's just what I like. I have my safe investments, but Bitcoin, I got a little DJing in me too, right? So this is what I fell in love with, and expect more of it. Unfortunately, I don't know. I would expect at some point, as more institutional money gets in, and when they really kind of control the majority share of the Bitcoin, then it's probably going to level out a little bit like stocks. But right now, hey, volatility is still here. It's back. So
that's wild.
All right. Yeah, dude. All right, over to a little X marks the spot kind of stuff here. It appears that a large amount of Bitcoin mined in 2010, so it's 14 years old, was actually dumped following the all-time high. So again, we talked about this a little bit. You get up to the all-time high, people are going to take profits. There's dudes in retail, or just people that have held for a long time, they're going to take their money. And homeboy cashed out. I want to say he cashed out for like 69 million or something crazy like that. But what it did is it then led to that movement down, and people started getting liquidated. Then you get into a cascading effect. So I think that's a little bit of what you saw yesterday. Everybody got super bullish. People were leveraging into long positions as Bitcoin was pushing up, and then you get the cascading effect down as all those people are getting wiped out when price is chasing liquidity, because the maker is going to get his. I promise you that. All right,
yeah, absolutely.
What else? Man, I didn't bring it up. Go ahead and bring up the TriCam. Let's talk that out a little bit, and then
so let's talk that out for sure.
And we'll talk about that on the backside.
No, thanks so much for bringing up all those points. I mean, Michael Saylor, my God, this guy is is a maxi, though. There is no second best. However, he's just committed, right? And I think it's important for us to have people in the space who are committed, right? And who are standing strong, and he's a very big advocate for the industry, right? And it's nice to see someone leading the way. What do you think about Michael Saylor, OC?
Oh, that is a real what is this one guy called? Iron Man guy for me. I mean, not any other one.
Superhero.
I'm telling you.
Superhero.
Yeah.
He's the Batman of crypto, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
Yes.
the volatility as well. The volatility, and then that $69 million. I want to ask the chat, would you, if you bought, when did you say 2010?
Yeah,
if
it was
you
2010.
bought in 2010 and your bags are at 69 million, put a 1 in the chat if you would cash out. Because I know me, I'm cashing out, man. I'm cashing out. I'm putting that into whatever, a 3% interest rate, and I'm living off of it. Like, I'm good,
I'm not mad at him. Like,
no,
take your profits, bro. And I talked a little bit about that. Hey, we get to an all-time high. I've said it before, like that's an opportunity to take some profits, right? There's going to be a pullback, an opportunity for a re-entry. Like, take some profits, dude. You deserve it. You made it through the bear market, so go for it.
That's the one, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Talking about that, I would like to go and visit really quick to my charts if we can, like because right here you guys can see. Let me see. There we go. This is my account. Just so you know, this is a brand new account. And I want to show you something, guys, that AlexO Crypto was mentioning, that I'm a little bit bearish on the altcoins. From all of the bear market, I did put away a little bit of that money, and I'm rebuilding a new account. Just so you know, I have nothing to do with this entity here, other than I use it, but I also use other ones, right? So this is not a recommendation, neither a promotion, nothing like that. But I want to show you that with my trailing entries and then on yesterday's V-shaped recovery, look at what I did. I actually took some profits, and I'm back at 76.66 back on cash, right? Nonetheless, I do have another account where I do manage only Bitcoin, and then other account that I do manage only Bitcoin and some big altcoins. But this is the one that I'm working out as of best of my abilities today. And the other ones that I do have are these few ones that I believe that I took them very, very nicely, and then I was able to sell more than half of what I got. So I am expecting a little bit of that volatility to start playing back. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking profits. Yeah, so that's just I wanted to tell you guys or show that. Yeah, thank you.
See, that's what you guys want in this space. Like, definitely is someone being transparent, showing what they're doing. You can see that OC, not only is he participating in the markets, but he's sharing what he's doing. He's sitting in a bunch of cash now, right? But he's paid himself, and no one goes broke taking profits, right? So that's a very important thing to note. And let's jump over to TradeFly. I believe TradeFly has that last news article for us ready to go.
Oh yeah, dude. So I went back. It's an oopsie daisy. That was the one. Okay. So the X marks the spot was the one.
X marks the spot was the one. Okay, so we're going to jump into some charts next, okay, with the Otter Gang takeover. Guys, throw some alts in the chat, but what are you seeing on Bitcoin TradeFly?
All righty. So looking at Bitcoin here on the 4 hour, let's go ahead and take a look-see. You guys know I love my little chemtrails I got up. So that is the dynamic support and resistance levels with chart prime here. These are flipped. All right, there we go. Let's get it all out here. All right, get that all out of the way. Hey, we got the all-time high. We all know that, right? And then we pulled down, and look, we found some support here in this area at about 60K. I think it really came down to about 59.5 or so. Maybe a little bit underneath of that. But look, I had already had that line identified. I did not draw this line recently. So I already had that. It was wicked right off of it, which is amazing. And really all that was doing was coming back and looking at some previous support and resistance on the larger time frames, just so you know where that came from. So looking at the prime oscillator though, looky here, right? We're actually showing a little bit of bullish divergence, which is unbelievable to think about because the price actually did pull back so hard. And there you go. It's starting to move up and right again. Now, the thing that I'm really going to be looking for here And this is what I want you guys to be looking for is, do we now start setting a trend of lower highs? All right. Because this could be where we see maybe that we start reversing direction. It is very much in play. So I know everyone's very, very bullish right now. I'm still bullish. The trend overall is still up and right, but keep a lookout for a series of higher lows just to see if we are changing trend, because we really, really got to keep that in our scan and consider that that might be in play. In terms of the cup and handle that we were talking about, you can see it played out. It went all the way up. We hit our target there, the cup and handle. So now it's kind of letting things shake out in the market, and then taking some of that economic data and what's going on with the larger market, the stock markets as well. And to be honest, I see us being in a range a little bit. It's really hard for me to say that, hey, we're going to continue this crazy trajectory up and right, because you need a cool off. You need to have consolidation. Like, it's got to happen somewhere. So I'm hoping it's here, to be honest, because what that will do is then you'll see that big rotation into some of the altcoins, and then you get to play whack-a-mole, like I always say.
No, I love that. I love that. So we got a couple in here. If you want to get OP ready, and I'll do Solana OC. So jump over to my chart. I'll do Solana, and we will continue on our mighty way here. So like very similar to what we saw with Bitcoin here, but we got this bearish divergence here, right? So for me, we've seen the V-shaped recovery. We've come back into this range. We want to see continuation to the upside. Okay, so for me, Solana is looking good. I do have some very bullish levels here above us here, but my target, okay, this was given in my Discord. We were looking for the move. We got the breakout yesterday on the pump up to the all-time high. This was from yesterday. We got the breakout of this downtrend here. However, it came back and dumped, right? So it's about having take profit levels in a plan, right? So with this trade, right, we were looking for the breakout of this trend line, which we got. The long here, we had a take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3, right? So we have a plan going in, and typically after my take profit 1, my stop loss goes into entry. So that would have been fine, depending on how you manage your trade, right? Every trader is different. But we did get that massive sell-off. Now we're seeing bearish divergence on high-term timeframes. So for me right now, we want to see support being held, okay? And this is across the board. We want to see support being held so that we can have some consolidation, because this to me is still a flag with some big sell-off liquidity grab, right? So we can still see a flag here that's playing out, and if we do get above and continue up, there could still be a play here. Target for Solana is to get up to this $154 level, okay? That's where I would like to see. However, if we do cool off, we always know that we have that very psychological number at $100. That is kind of like my baseline for this entire range here. So we've chopped around sideways after having the extreme pump, and we can see we've chopped around here. But my baseline for us to hold is right around this 102, 100 psychological level. And if we stay above 117 here, these previous highs, I do believe we do continue, right? And a lot of these charts, we have this move up or down and up. And if we take out these lows down low here, we could look for a much bearish, more looking correction. So we want to see these lows hold for all the alts as well. So let's jump over to OC and see what he has for OP. That's a mouthful.
Absolutely. All right. An EGLD request, if I'm not mistaken, it is from Christian Major, right? Or Major Payne. I want to go very quick on a couple of assets before landing on OP. Some of those are the ones that I have right here ringing my bells, right? Remember that yesterday, especially yesterday, we set up a couple of alerts. Just want to go very quick over those. We have BNB, ARB, and XRP, right? So this is a major thing and why I do believe that we could be revisiting some other lower lows. And also, let me show you that just because of that pullback yesterday, we have a drop back down, right? And with the same momentum, I got back at where I start taking profits. So you can see it wasn't liquidations here, but bouncing on that V-shape recovery, buying a little bit more below, and then taking some profits at the top, all right? So Going back to XRP, look at that. We have this trend line that we were looking at. It is not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and then off we go. Remember that we were pointing out this area right here, looking for either a bounce or a breakthrough. We are breaking through, and yes, we have a reversal. But again, look at that rejection out of this area, right? The exact same is happening here. I know I have a little bit of a mess, but let me just clear this up. Here we go. And as you can see, we are technically below the zero line. This is the only one that I'll be a little bit hopeful, although we could be going back to the dynamic reactor, so not all the way down, but looking back at ARP, all right? And to finalize, we have exactly as predicted, or exactly as speculated. We have a breakthrough. Look at that, through those necklines that I have on my rooftop analysis. Then going back, look at that, almost like perfectly to the loud order block here with the flip of the ribbon. Remember that I was expecting, in fact, to be a little bit more extended with a couple of weeks, but things happen, right? Going back down here to this area and then back up. We are strong. We do not enter in strong signals. We enter on retest, and we have a beautiful retest, and we're technically below the zero line. So we need to be a little bit careful. The only thing salvageable about BNB, it's going to be this 6. All right. Having said that, look at also about ARKN, which is again going back to where we were expecting, going for the retest, and now we're back below the zero line. So this is huge. All right, so that's why I'm looking to maybe visit some other areas down below. I'm not saying that we're going to be going farther down, but this is a measured pattern repeat over and over and over and over throughout most of the altcoins, and that's why I'm saving a little bit of dry powder or regaining that dry powder after the V-shaped recovery. Just wrapping up with OP, let's go very quick, just not to take all of the space. And I just thought that it's going to be important to see those areas and pair it on what am I doing in the markets, right? OP is one of the ones that look very good because despite it did went all the way back down, not only went back down, but followed its same path. It's still going up, right? Look at the prime score also, and we're above the zero line. Yes, it looks like we are reversing, and we could very much start doing a bearish divergence if we have one more candle. At this point, we have the first taking profit ticking there, and I could be expecting maybe a pullback to the upside to maybe do an MP max profits, or maybe have a secondary check mark there that will be indicating me that we're going to be rolling back down, right? How
Beautiful.
far? I'll be projecting my dynamic reactor somewhere around 4.13. Just to wrap things up, I'm going to just throw in there if TradingView doesn't get stuck. Oh, nice. It is not. It did. All right.
Well,
yes.
Perfect. Let's jump over to TradeFly and wrap this up. I do believe we're getting low on time. So TradeFly, you got WMT that was requested as well. So let's see what you got there, brother.
Prestige worldwide. Let's go. We're good on time though. I think we got till 7:30, bro. So welcome to the hour-long extravaganza. Unless you.
No, I'm here for the long run, man.
Half hour of funness and TA here. All right. So looking at World Mobile Token (WMT). This is on MEXC, so I don't know which exchange you wanted it on. I saw KuCoin as well, but here we go. So looking at this, right, you can see that there's an arguable case that this was a cup and handle, and you see that on a lot of the charts, right? So if you look at a lot of the alts, we've been talking, we keep saying cup and handle. Well, the market kind of moves together, and so some of them will pop off at different rates, but you can see it did what it formed, kind of a cup and handle, pulled back, and then we got that explosive move to the upside. Now, what you want to look for, and this is why I'm such a big believer in horizontal levels of resistance, is look at this one right here. You see that big spike? When you see a big sell-off in an area, that tells me there's some sort of selling pressure in that area. So what I would do is mark that area, right? And sure enough, it came up and it wicked right off of it. So that's why I love horizontal levels of resistance and support so much, because you see it time and again. And then looking at this area right here, you see this blue line right here? I go back and look at all the support here, right? All the support. You get a breakdown, you come up for a retest, and then guess what? Goes back down again. Comes back up, retest, comes back down again. All right, so that's confirmation that that area is a significant level of price action, right? And I pointed that out to you guys on 88, and once we got up there with 88, I was like, hey, I think it's going to pop. Now, I wasn't watching WMT, Otherwise, I probably would have said the same thing. I was like, if we come pushing up here again and you're looking for this area down here on the prime oscillator, you see that going up and right. So now we're getting the indications that we want to see of like, hey, we got some actual strength behind the move. We're coming up for that retest again. Boom. And it actually breaks through, it goes up, finds this area of resistance, and then it pulls back. Now, what are we doing right now? This is important. We're now taking a significant area of resistance and we're flipping it into support. Here's your confirmation, right? It came down, it wicked down. It's an area, right? It's not going to be exactly where TradeFly draws this stupid little line, but then it bounces, right? So now we might say, hey, like this is our confirmation. Like I'd like to see multiple retests personally, but we may not have that opportunity. It just depends on the strength of the market. And if things continue to go up and right, this thing's probably going to continue to go up and right. And this will be your new support level right here at about 20 cents or so. So that's what I'm looking at with WMT. It's strong. Prime score right now is 9. Consolidation is 0, which means it still has the opportunity for me to keep moving up and right with the rest of the market if the rest of the market continues to move up and right. That's going to be your driving factor. Look at Bitcoin. If Bitcoin consolidates, you got an opportunity. If Bitcoin pulls back, then we come back and we retest this level at about 20 cents. So 27 is your high side, 20 cents your low side.
I like that. I like that a lot. Let's go back to the TriCam if you don't mind. And we had a poll here, guys. And the poll was, will next week on Monday open higher or lower than 69K? And we got 43% saying yes, healthy quick correction, 46% saying maybe sideways consolidation for now, and no, we got more downside, 11%. Guys, what do you think? Will next week on Monday open higher or lower than 69K?
I'm gonna say lower. That's the all-time high. Like you don't just go get to break things like willy-nilly, man. It's gonna be a significant area of resistance now, in my mind.
Okay. And
not
OC?
only that, remember what happened. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's all you, man.
Perfect. Thank you. So not only that, remember what happened? We were hitting 10K on the previous cycle, right? Right before we have that huge dump that lead to the Corona dump. Remember, we were hitting almost there at 10K, right? Which was very close to the previous one, right? To the previous high. And then from out of nowhere, it just kept going down. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but once again, hitting previous all-time highs is a very strong area.
Yeah. See, I think we're gonna blast right through. I think we're going up to like 72. I think I got. But call me Permable, Mr. Hopium himself. This is the Otter Gang show, man. We taking over today. So I'm saying 70, 72.
That's in play. That the measured move off of that bull pennant was 72K.
Yep, that's the one. See, he knows. So let's pull up some more TA. I'm gonna do BONK. We'll go to my chart, and then if OC guy wants to pull up Arweave, and I know TradeFly's got MATIC on lock, so we'll go.
Oh, it's coming.
BONK, Arweave, and MATIC.
Let's do it.
If you want to switch over here. So we got BONK here. Don't bonk your head on this stuff, man. This is a meme coin, and you want to be very, very careful here. So for me, it's understanding support and resistance. I get like super TradeFly on meme coins, okay? So I just want to identify where's opportunities to buy on spot. Now, I do have a small bag of BONK and a small bag of Snack. I do not hold the chicken coin, which I will not pronounce, and I don't like frogs, so I've stayed out of that one as well. However, these have been running crazy, the dog coins and such like that. So for me, my area for opportunities to buy is however many zeros to 25.5, okay? That's a lot, 4 zeros, okay? 4 zeros, but when looking at something like this, it's massive narrative driven, okay? So we want to look for key levels of support and resistance to support our ideas. So when looking at this, I always like to track momentum to the downside and the breakout. So you can see here, we haven't come back up to where the top was here. So how do we track momentum? Well, we have a clearly defined downtrend here that we seen the big sell-off. Then we look for the break of the downtrend and the retest, which we didn't get perfectly down to this level, probably because it's a meme coin. And we were looking for that continuation of higher highs and higher lows on the way up, right? And then you can identify where we're going to have resistance just by looking at this objectively. Where do you think it would be? Well, I would say this is going to be an entry up into higher prices. We can see that we did have some consolidation around. Is some candle closes down here. So for me, if we don't drop down, we look for support to be held at these levels. I don't think I have the brain capacity. I didn't drink enough of that aviation coffee this morning to be able to read BONK price levels. 4 zeros, 37 is where we need to get above, and 4 zeros, 31.2 is where we need to hold in order to continue to the upside. But make sure you guys got that aviation coffee because it's legendary, baby. Let's go over to OC.
All right, let's take a look at our REIT. There we go. AR USDT. So basically, we have it right here. I'm looking at Binance. So this is another interesting coin, and the one that I could be looking at. I did not have eyes on this one. There's a great suggestion. We have constant move ups to the upside. Here we go, like that. Yes, we have this V-shaped recovery, but the interesting part is that we're not making neither a lower high nor a equal high. We're pretty close on the previous high, but we are breaking it, right? As long as we can hold the next flip of the ribbon and then bounce off it, or at least do not lose. And let me show you which zone. Let me clear this up. As long as we can break through back above on the flip of the ribbon, but the important part, it is not losing this area right here that we have with these two support and resistances. By the way, those are automatic created for my Market Dynamics Pro of ChartPrint, right? And let me just back in here and support it with the golden ratio or the golden line in here, and also this other golden line. We also have the money flow VPVR. So as long as we keep within this area right here, we're gonna be golden for the next movement to the upside, all right? We are still pretty bullish on our prime score and pretty low on our consolidation score, which means, yes, we could be going into a little bit of consolidation, which is what I could be expecting, and then keep going upwards like that. So again, as long as we don't lose the 28.34 or 34 zone, we are golden within the next flip of the ribbon to the upside. I want to tackle EGLD on the next round. Christian Measure is talking about it. So I'll be pulling it back on the next round. Thank you guys. Throwing it back to you.
Awesome. Let's jump over to TradeFly. You got MATIC going on, don't we?
Yo, you know it, boy. Let's go. All right, so
let's go.
Looking at MATIC, we've been pretty bullish on MATIC for, I'd say, over a week now. And the reason was we were looking at this cup and handle. It looked like it was playing out, and it was doing pretty well. It got up to about 112. You can see there's an area of resistance there. And sure enough, we kind of ran into that. And I was hoping we were going to see this continuing up and right. And we did get that initially, but look what's happening now. We're now printing a little bit of bearish divergence on the daily, which is stronger than the 4 hour. So keep that in mind. That is not what you want to see. Price going up, RSI coming down. What I'm looking for really is going to be this right here. All right, you see this line? If we break that on RSI or the prime oscillator, then I'm going to be a little bit more concerned. I'm going to be honest with you guys that it might take us a little longer to get up to that target of about $1.18 than I was anticipating. It fell pretty hard, like most of the alts, when Bitcoin had its pullback. Some of the alts went down crazy, like ADA still hasn't completely recovered, and neither has MATIC. So here we are. I mean, look, that dollar area is still very prominent, right? This was just a wick based on the rest of the larger market, so no big concerns there. I kind of tossed that out. But then you can see on the next candle, what did it do? It found at that psychological number of $1. That's, I'm telling you, it's a very, very important number. And now we're looking to potentially push up. Now, if we try to push up, then we could see this curl back up. So this is, we're really going to have to watch the oscillator on this one to kind of see you know, what move we're going to make here. Because if you see this curl up and it comes back up and right, that's okay, right? It kind of reset. I'm on board with that. But if it doesn't, if it crosses through this line and you start to see this negative trend down, now you're seeing a trend. You're seeing a trend in, you know, the oscillator, which is showing a sign of weakness. And then you might start seeing a series of higher lows, and then we come back down and we consolidate. And then we got to start talking about the dynamic reactor and some of the confluence you have here with the moving averages, right? So you're going to have to look for that next target area of support, right? So I'm pointing out to you, I want to be realistic that indeed we could pull back at least to the neckline. And then, you know, if it continues to pull back, you definitely want to keep an eye on where these areas are at that time that it actually pulls back, to see if you can find another area for an entry, right? Potentially an area to either add to your bags or potentially go long if you miss this move up, right? Because it's still, I mean, if you measure it out, that's still a pretty significant move from the neckline where we were kind of talking about it to here is an 18% move. That's a nice move, right? So you may have missed that. Might have another opportunity is all I'm going to say right here. Keep an eye on this. If it breaks down and right, we could visit some lower levels. Other target areas still remain, right? 107, 108, that was just going back here. You look at this area of resistance, you go all the way back here, you look at this area of support. So you can see there's a lot going on in here. And that, like I said, 107, 108 is definitely a significant area because I always look for the breakdown. You have a significant breakdown with a retest. That's confirmation that that area is pretty significant. And you can see it is honoring it time now. And then if it pushes up, you got probably, I'd say, a weaker level of resistance at about 113. And then our target area is still 118 for that measured move off of the cup and handle. That's what I got from MATIC.
Love it. Love it. That's all. I think automatic is going to run eventually. I think there's been a lot of shade casted upon it from Optimism and Arbitrum as being other alts, you know, alternative, newer, you know, the fresh new coins in the market, probably sucking a little bit of attention away from MATIC, but we know, like Disney, Nike, like big adoption on MATIC. So it's something.
Yes. Starbucks,
like, all that. Yeah, exactly. So
it's some of the largest retail like deals out there. Like, I don't know how many people have the deals that like MATIC has, and I pointed that out, you know, a while ago. Like, I still believe in MATIC until those deals go away. Until they say, hey, like Starbucks, like said, nah, we're good. We're not gonna continue this train, you know, like Meta always does. Like, they're always just like in one thing and out, and it's like, oh shit, you know, like, well, I guess that's not gonna work out. But yeah, until that happens, the only thing that gives me pause is Piper pulled up. I want to say it was like Ethereum. I don't know if it was Ethereum's page or what exactly the page was, but like it didn't even mention MATIC at all, and I was like, well, that's not ideal.
What?
But yeah, it didn't even mention MATIC. It only mentioned like Arbitron and something else. I was just like, damn, well, that's not the best thing I've seen, but at the same time, those deals are still in place. So I'm not giving up. I'm Captain Jack MATIC, damn it. And it's going to happen. All right.
I love that.
Conviction.
He's got, that's it, right? We don't marry our bags, but we are we do our own research, and we have conviction for good. I'm a
loyal individual, baby.
good reason for it, right? So let's jump over to my chart. I have AVAX on the 4-hour. OC, if you don't mind pulling up something as well, and we'll jump over to that after we look at AVAX here. So for me, AVAX is looking pretty bearish. Okay, I'm not trying to join the bear club here. However, you can see we had a beautiful flag coming out of here. You want to see that breakout. You never got it, and you got the breakdown, and now you've had the retest of the breakdown. Now, this is like almost textbook, where you can see you got your key level of support being broken, retested, and now we're continuing downwards. Now, I do have some key levels on AVAX that I am looking at around 37.73 that I really want to hold. And then I've had this buy level, which has been around $35 here. That has been actually pretty stellar for this range here. If you're buying around it or under it, you're doing all right. And you can see too on the daily, our dynamic reactor, AVAX has chopped a little bit sideways in it. I do believe it ran a lot because of the GameFi, right? So GameFi is big in the industry, and a lot of things in GameFi are built, but you can see that we're starting to form some sort of bull pennant here. And the further we get horizontal, the more we consolidate, the better it is for the bulls. So nice range here. You can identify between 35 and the top of the range being around 44, 45, right? So within this range, things typically range 70% of the time, right? So we sell the highs, we buy the lows, right? And if we are looking to accumulate, my level has been 35, and you can also track a trend line here. But as we creep more sideways, I do expect for a pop. Now, in the near-term timeframes, just like Bitcoin, it's had that V-shaped recovery. Now we look for the back test and to hold supports. Okay, so we have our first support, our second support around 36.6. Okay, and by identifying these key levels, we can look for it to hold and then change market structure. So we want, if it falls over, we want to see that higher highs and higher lows be formed. Okay, we still can have it here if we hold this level here and we continue, but I'd be being patient right now and really letting Bitcoin dictate which way the markets are going to move. You can see we did on Bitcoin get that drop, that V-shaped recovery, same thing, drop down to a golden pocket, and we seem to be marching back up right now, but it's very iffy within the space. So right now we want to let the dust settle after such an aggressive move from yesterday. So let's go over to OC now.
Absolutely. First of all, guys, thank you so much for joining. Guys, we are 35 watching right now, and we have fewer likes. So take 1 minute and hit that like button. That really helps us out on the algorithm. And not financial advice, but your holdings may go higher if you click that like button. All right, take a look at EGLD. Major Pain was made. Christian Major was basically telling me that it needs to be on a KuCoin. Let's just take a look at, because of the drop. Let's take a look at here. We have the lowest candle 50.69. So 50.69, and right here we have 50. Wait, where is it? Lower. Come on, this thing. There you go. 57.56. So $7 lower on the other one. Just want to make sure that we are keeping a track on the Bybit area right here, although we're going to be just doing the analysis on the previous one. Just so you know, this is the YCAF pattern that we were looking at, and we went back into the lower areas right here where we were supposed to be buying. All right, just so we keep track on what areas we hit, and also where our positions were sometimes being allocated. All right, so going to EGLD right here on KuCoin, we are still bullish. Something important to note, it is, yes, we are below the zero line, but our prime score remains 8 and our consolidations remains 0. I'm still thinking, because of the price action momentum or price action shape, that we could be having one of those rooftop areas right here. So we need to be careful with this area all the way up here at 65.72, because we are below the zero line. And if we go against the zero line right here and we bounce off it, we most likely are going to be revisiting some lower areas, like all the way down here to 55.61. All right, nonetheless, this drop was legendary, like the coffee. All right, let's take a look at a little bit of our indicators, what they're telling us. So we were all the way down here, almost perfectly to this support area. And also we have our dynamic reactor running here. I know dynamic reactor at this point might not seem too much of a concern, because we're hovering on it and we are pretty strongly moving upwards based on our prime score and consolidation score. But if we start breaking through that dynamic reactor, the story will be changing. All right, so I'm going to be looking at these areas right here. Also, look very closely at this one that is pairing or is crossing this neckline, or this rooftop area or line that I have going on here. All right, so bear with me. I'm going to start then dropping other indicators here. So support and resistances, where is it? All the way down here, another 2 ones in here, along with this rank area, and some other 2 in here. At this point, I'm just doodling on my charts. Remember, I'm trying to get as much confidence as I can, and then I'm going to be clearing up my my charts. Remember, at this point, I'm just after data, right? I'm not even doing an effort to analyze anything. I'm just letting the software to do its thing and just give me where is all of the confluence occurring at. All right. So at this point, I'm just gonna finish up with the Market Dynamics Pro. We're with this channel that it's being plotted here. Let me show you. Oh, come on, Trading View. Well, the base of the channel was running through here, and the top of the channel was running through there. So I don't know what is not appearing, but we have also a high volume breakout. All right. So after all of the doodling, let me now turn off everything, and we'll start analyzing. Look at right here, we have the most amount of confluence, right? So let's just draw, or let's just leave one line there. Let's just keep this one off and use the center one and slightly move it to the upside. Here we go. Why to pair it with this one, which we're also going to be taking, removing, right? Dynamic reactor, we know it's there. Let's also remove it. And then we have the next big support area right here. And finally, this area all the way down there. I'm going to get rid of that one and this one also. So let me see if I can remove it. I don't know why it's not going away. Perfect. So now I have a much better information where my support and resistances are, and also where I could be looking for possible re-entries. I'm not saying that we're going down, but most likely that's what's going to happen. On my rooftop, I can also start drawing some necklines. And as you can see right here is building up one very nice one. So if I start breaking this trend line or this neckline, and you can see it's backed up by this other confluence zone, we could be revisiting lower areas at 52.205. Nonetheless, I'm going to be adding alerts on this trend line right here and another alert on this other trend line. I want to get alerted when I start breaking through them. So we're getting tighted, so keep an eye on an EGLD. So moving on to you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much. TradeFly, what are you looking at right now?
Oh, I got the
besides OC's amazing hair.
Yeah, well, you know, every day I wake up in the morning, I get it all spiffy. Got to keep up with OC, man. I make my
We're
bed
twinning,
back
man.
too. Just saying. Hey, how do you start your day off every morning? Make your bed. All right, no matter what you do. I watched this video one time. There was I think he was a retired colonel or lieutenant colonel. He was a Navy SEAL, and like he was like, the first thing you do, make your bed. He was like, it doesn't matter how crappy your day is. You come back and you've already won the day because your bed is made nice. It makes you feel good. And
I've seen that video. It's really good and it's powerful because it allows you to accomplish one task right when you get up, right? Which is important. You're already starting off with a bang, right? So I do love that video.
All right, check it out. Let's go ahead and look at some cock in you. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, this thing
went there. The chicken coin.
There it is. It popped. That's why I brought it up, because you said something. All right. So yeah, we found resistance at the high, right? So if you guys hung on to this, it looks like people got a little bullish at the meme coin and started pumping this thing back up to its local high or its previous high, all-time high, whatever you want to call it. It did actually break it and it set a new all-time high. But how could we get ahead of that? How could we say, hey, this might be an area to exit and take some profits? Well, it's pretty easy. You draw a horizontal line, and then the other thing you can do is a fib extension. So that kind of lined up. You get a little confluence between a fib extension and a horizontal level of resistance. That tells me it's probably time to take profits or even get out or maybe short, depending on how you play the game. You know, I did a little scalp trade on Bitcoin live yesterday because it was all-time high. Why not? I'll take a chance on a little bit of money and high leverage and see how it played out. Played out well. So it's pulling back now, and now we got to kind of look at some lower time frames to see where we can go. So let's look at the 4-hour chart. All right, we have that pulled up, and I can probably get rid of the fib extension, but that's all right. Let's just look. So here we are. We're looking at some levels here, and one of the areas I want you to look at is this area with a whole bunch of zeros and 3-2. And why am I looking at that is because you can see all the resistance, and then you had that big push up through that level, and then you come back left on the chart, and you see where there is areas of resistance previously, right? So it could very, very much pull back, which it looks like it kind of wants to do right now, and retest that area to see if you can find support. So I would be looking for that area, you know, to see if we do flip it officially from resistance into support, and then get confirmation of potential continuation up and right. If not, you got some other levels to look at too, right? You have this area with a whole bunch of zeros and 2, 3. And now we start getting into this range of where we have areas of support, but we also are starting to flirt with some of the moving averages. I'm going to guess if the dynamic reactor was showing up, which I don't think, there it is, it's right there. We'll probably have to look at the dynamic reactor on the daily, but I would imagine it probably lines up with some of the moving averages as well. So initial thought process for me is CAC Inu likely to pull back to right around a bunch of zeros and 3-2 and look to see if we can find support in that area. If we do find support, you see a retest there, what I'd be looking for is the RSI to be pushing up and right. So it's going to have to reset though. It's going to have to come down. You're going to probably see something like this and then like that. All right. So if you do see that, what you want to see is that trend up and right. All right. That'll be a nice sign. And if we can get multiple touch points in this area, that's even better to see this thing, actually come down and up again. That's going to be a nice indication for me that you'll get that continuation up and right. So it's really hard. It's a meme coin. It's low cap. You never know how these things are going to go. But that for me is probably my real target area that I'm actually going to look and take it serious to see if I want to get an entry.
Awesome. Amazing. Amazing. I love it. I love it. You guys have such good TA. Last but not least, I have a little level for you guys on Ethereum. 3687. This is where I'm looking for a pullback. Pullback.
We are almost running out of time. We have 5 minutes to get.
So Ethereum, we have this key level. I'm looking for a bounce at 3682. If we do continue our march upwards, this is looking hella bullish. So you go over to my heat map, and I've shown you guys this before, right? How to track volatility for the day, right? And we go in here and look at Ethereum, 11.5% for such, and the bigger the square, the bigger the market cap, just so you know when you're looking at this. So you can see Ethereum. I know I'm blinding you with the blue light, but come on, guys, this is pumping, and clearly we have our 2 dogs here hanging out with us. But with Ethereum, I'm looking for a continuation. My target's 4,039. I have a couple levels here that I shared with my community to the upside if we do continue to push. But you can see with Ethereum, there's becoming a rotation into Ethereum because of the anticipated ETF that could be coming for Ethereum. Now, I'm not spreading FUD. I'm just making you guys aware so you can prepare for the future. We were calling like 3K Ethereum when we were down at 2,200, chopping sideways all the way back here, where we were like, okay, guys, we're suppressed. We want to see this move. We were chopping sideways all between here. We had the fake push, the pump up, and then we flew off after that Dencun upgrade, right? So now it's about front running the Ethereum ETF because we know what the Bitcoin one did. And you can see this very easily in the ETH BTC chart. Okay, so make sure you have an ETH BTC chart where you can see the rotation of capital between the two. When Bitcoin's starts dumping, you can or consolidate sideways, you can see this chart come down and then that rotation into capital for Ethereum. So I think there's still gas left in the tank, and then from Ethereum you'll see that rotation into MATIC, Optimism, and Arbitrum as well. Are we going to go to the TriCam and close this thing out, or what are we doing now?
Got 2 minutes left.
Let's do it.
We got 2 minutes left. So guys, it's been an honor and a privilege. I don't know which way to point. There, I can do the Piper. Over there, like and subscribe. We have taken over the Piper Academy, where knowledge is profit. We got my 2 family members because, we're not like family, we're family, as Piper says. So thank you. Any parting words, TradeFly?
Yeah, man, as always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. It's an absolute honor to interact with you guys every day. And, I'm glad to see everyone is doing great, right? In the Discord, it's blowing up. A lot of people are doing really, really well with this push up. And now it's just time to sit back and really start developing maybe where are we going to start taking profits? Where am I going to have an exit strategy? Let's really start thinking about those things because we are flirting with the all-time highs. Rule number 1 for me, protect your money. Okay, so that's what I will leave you guys with. Again, if you guys enjoyed it, you know, he already hit it. Give us a like and subscribe. We're still growing. Follow us on Twitter. We all have our little tags. I'm sure it's in the description. And then come on over to Discord. Like, we actually get in there and we mix it up with you guys. It's a good area to be. You can really get a lot of knowledge there that, you know, we'll drop on the daily. There's some trade setups. There's all kinds of good stuff in there. So come join us, be part of the fam, and I'll pass it to OC. We'll roll it into the
that's
outro.
my alumni, you know what I mean?
Nice. Guys, thank you so much for joining. It's already 9:30. We need to go write another server, another YouTube channel. So, guys, thanks so much for joining. Really appreciate you. Always trying to get you the best information and trying it back here to AlexO Crypto.
Well, we survived. We did it. We show up for our friends. This is what it's about. It's about community. Hang out with us. Subscribe to the channel. I mean, we like to show up for our friends. And if they ask us to do something, we show up and we do our best. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We'll continue to show up for you guys. And guys, remember, use the dang stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. TradeFly, get the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to protect dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!